We on?
You're hot.
We hot.
Military term.
Hot.
Yep.
Burning. That's a Department of Health term.
Yeah.
You're burning. What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling? Welcome. Welcome, people. People are already hitting me up. Big up to Jessica. What's up, Jess? Oh, that's a delay. That's right. So we having a good time. We're ready. So how you want to set this off? You ready to set it off with some music sometime? You know? You want to blank it up? Throw the music on, girl.
You guys go, you huh?
Okay. I'm here. I'm having a wonderful time. Okay. Whenever you're ready, let's kick it on. Ready? All right, bet. You want me to start? Because I'm a regular host. I'm regular good. And welcome, YouTubers. What's up? King Simon in the building with the one, the only Dr. Afrika. But we're going to be promoting my book, and it's upside down, but I'm going to make it happen. King. So we're going to do a great. You want me to hold it? Or you want to? He can hold it. He going to hold it. I am elated. Dr. Afrika is going to interview me about my book, and I bigged him up in my book. That's how deep this gets. So if you want to text me, like I said, on Facebook and on Instagram, you can text me your question for myself or Dr. Afrika since he's here. And I do have some health advice in there, but I do recommend you consulting people who have been doing this for a long time, longer than I have. And Dr. Afrika is one of the greatest. He's a scientist at this stuff. And he's helping me to promote. Matter of fact, the book, Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated, is now under their publication, which is Charles Childs Publishing. Dr. Melanie Stevens, his beautiful wife, and of course, Dr. Afrika, the man of the hour. Too sweet to be sour. We here on YouTube. How you feeling, Doctor?
I'm feeling all right.
I'm loving it.
The subject is, however, numbers are simple. And it's written by astro solar numerologist by the name of
King Simon.
King Simon. What is the purpose of this book?
Oh, brother, to help people. That's the truth. The true thing about using my intuitive talent of through numbers to help others, and hopefully people understand that numbers not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like you do with mathematics. It is mathematical, but it's also using your birthday to help you understand yourself and understand your partners, understand your children. Also understanding possible health risks and how to prevent and reverse diseases if you understand your numbers and the amount of numbers that might surround you due to your birthday or your name. My teacher is Lloyd Strayhorn. Also, he did write the foreword for my book, so I respect that brother to the utmost. And some of my health teachers are sitting right next to me, people like Dr. Afrika and people like Queen Afua and Phil Valentine and Sebi. These are all people that I look up to, and I acknowledge in my book as those who have been the wind under my wings. And numbers are simple, people are complicated is why I named the book. Even Lloyd loves that name because numbers are simple. 1 + 2 is 3. But if you have a person that might be under the number 1 and one might be under the number 2, more than likely one person born under the number 1, let's say the 1st of February, and let's say the woman that you're with as a brother might be married, might be April the 2nd. Usually a person born under the number 2 with a 1 is water and a fire energy. So water and fire energy usually collide because water and fire usually don't get along in certain senses. But what I try to stress in the book that all the elements in the universe works together. You just have to know how to put them in various perspectives. Maybe you're supposed to be in business with that person. Maybe the number 2 is supposed to be a secretary to a number 1. You never know how that's supposed to work. Maybe you're not supposed to be intimate with that person because that person is a number 2. And depending on the zodiac, that also has a very important meaning to it too. So that's what I try to stress in my book also.
So do you have to know mathematics or arithmetic?
Well, if you can add, if you know how to add and sometimes subtract, you can do numerology. And like Lloyd always say, if you can count up to 10 on your fingers, if you can count up to 10 on your fingers, you can do numerology. It's that simple. Because none of us are mathematicians. Don't even try to ask me no trigonometry, no crap like that. I'm not going to do that. But I can add 1 plus 9. I can add 1 plus 8. I can add 1 plus 5. Very simple stuff just to understand yourself from an esoteric level.
So would you say that this book would help someone understand their children?
Yes, they would understand a child that's born at a certain, like I understand, I have 9 children. I understand all my children through numbers. Numerology definitely helped me, give me a bird's eye view of what to expect from them, from a positive and negative perspective.
So you did the number 9 because of numerology? That's why you had 9 children? I'm trying to figure this thing out.
Forgive me. See, don't make me laugh. I'm joking. Dr. Afrika's funny. But, no.
The answer is no.
No.
Okay.
But 9 is completion. And I don't plan on making any more.
Oh, because that would be 10.
Yes, and that would...
That would make sense. Okay.
Unless my new wife wants me to make another one.
Okay.
I'm down with you, baby.
That would be her starting another series of yours.
Yeah, no, this is serious.
So you still have to stop at 9.
Yeah, still be stop 9 because it don't, numbers only go up to 9. However, you'll notice that a lot of numerology doesn't mention the number 0. Like they don't count it as a number because all numbers come out of the 0. I use number 0 because, thank you very much, Dr. Melanie, hooking me up.
Yeah, in mathematics we call 0 a placeholder. We don't classify it as a number.
Right, it's a placeholder. So in certain systems, it's a void, or it represents infinity.
Yes.
That's what it represents. And what I do, I classify the number 0, especially when someone is born on the 10th, the 20th, or the 30th of the month, because due to my observation, anytime I've seen those numbers, they always exerted some type of extremities to either the positive or the negative of that number due to the 0.
So what we're talking about is the numbers talking to you.
Yes, numbers talking to us, right.
Now, what age would you suggest a person start? Could they start at 9, understanding numbers are simple, or any age?
Well, I plan on putting out the children's books, and I want them to understand it from a young age. As soon as they learn how to add, I think they should learn how to understand numbers.
So is the objective to help a person play the lottery? Is this what
No, the late, great Kenneth Dickinson did that in his book on how to win lottery. He was good at that. And he was born July 6th, I forgot which year, but he was also a friend of Lloyd Strayhorn, and when I read his book, he showed the biorhythms and algorithms of how to play and what would be the most best time for those people under those numbers or those zodiac to play the number. Very good, because he's won a lot, and he proved through his system that it did work. You know, the premise of writing this book is for helping yourself, the individual, to reach the highest height of your highest possibilities, striving, at least learning how to better yourself through your numbers.
You use some terms there that maybe some people are not familiar with.
Yes.
You use water, fire signs. And so where do you get the fire signs and the number, or the water sign and the number? There's certain numbers of fire?
Well, yes, certain numbers are, like when you count from 1 through 9, let's say, according to the rule is that each number is connected to an element. Each number is also connected to a planet. Each number is also connected to a vibration that some may say in different systems. Like the number 1 is connected to the number 1, 3, and 9 are fire numbers.
Okay.
Number 2 and 7 are water numbers.
Okay.
Number 4 and 5 are what you consider air numbers. And number 6 and 8 are earth numbers.
Okay.
And that's where in that system. So once it's like, if you study the numbers of a person, like say someone dating a number 6 person, a person's born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 24th of the month, they would be considered a number 6 when you add it all up. However, we would suggest a earth number to deal with a water number, because usually earth and water usually blends and work together best.
Okay.
Or a 6 to deal with another earth number, which would be a number 8, because they work the best. Now, if you're going to try to deal with a fire sign, a fire number, that depends now on the zodiac. Like if a 6 try to deal with a number 1, I would suggest if they're going to deal with a number one, they should deal with a number one earth sign like a Virgo, like somebody born September 1st. You know, that's how I would try to mesh them up and try to compare them, because that one would need that number 6 as a foundation to help them stay focused and structured, because earth represents that foundation. And one represents that the propensity to move forward and always be the leader and all that, and they would more help them in that sense, not to.
It sounds like you're just describing like the planet Earth. You got the Earth, and on top of the Earth is the water.
Right,
On top of the water is the air, and on top of the air is the sun.
Right,
Fire.
exactly.
So you're trying to keep that relationship.
Right, it's a relationship. That's exactly, yes, sir.
Now, if you have a person that's ill, could you try to do a numerology for the illness, or
You can
someone going to sports? I don't know.
Well, in numerology, you can actually find what illness would be more attracted to that number. Like, say, if I'm born as a February 1st, what attracts to my number is circulation problems, eye problems, lung problems. Thus, sometimes I go through these things and all that kind of stuff. If you're number 2, you have stomach issues, intestinal issues because of the water sign as water, and so on and so forth. And that's what we depict in the book. Myself, even Lloyd Strayhorn in his book also goes to that.
Would colors be associated with a number, like a person having a certain number would have affinity for
Yes.
color?
Yes.
How does that go?
Well, let's say again, let's go back to the one. Ones usually has an affinity to the gold color. Because it's the sun, right? Gold, and secondary green, and sometimes might be a yellow, exactly because of that, right? And then the 3 has an affinity with the purple, the lavender, the lilac. You understand? And 4 has an affinity to blue and light blue, and that's how the color. There's a color code that goes with that. And I make references in my book because I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. So I reference different books like Lloyd Strayhorn's book, like Shiro's book from back in the 1930s, and I reference different people. Even Michael Brill, who was a NASA, who worked for NASA. He was a numerologist working for NASA. What does NASA need with a numerologist? Obviously, as an advisor, and using the numbers. So I tell people, don't let others tell you that these sciences are not necessary when the so-called government uses these sciences. And they try to study every science because they want to stay in power. They try to stay in power. They study Akan, they study all kinds of stuff. So I love it. It's a very great thing to do. And
these numbers, you're saying they refer to colors, they refer to elements. Do they refer to like professions?
Yes, they do professions. Like again, back to number 1. Number 1 would be good as a leader. They would be good as a president of a company, running their own business, because they don't like to work for nobody. That's me, and I've known that since I was young. I never liked working for people born on February 1st. Then you have the people that's born on let's say born on the 2nd. They're good partners, good companions. They always like to serve and help others. They always make that good partner in whatever business but they also need a lot of loyal people around them to help them to flourish in a partnership. Yeah, yes, and that's how that works.
So you have the elements, you have the zodiac signs.
The zodiac connected to, yeah. That's right.
And you have professions.
Yes,
and then you did relationships.
Yeah, relationships, yes, sir.
So what about things such as, should I do this today, or should I do that tomorrow? Next year, should I do that? You understand
what is so interesting about numerology and the study of it is that you can actually pinpoint it to the year and the day. When I do readings, if you want to do an extensive reading, then I would do readings to the year that you're in. Like, say, this is 2015, right? It adds up to an 8. 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 5 is an 8. And I'm born February 1st. So what I do is add the 8, the 2015, which is add up to an 8, to my 1 and my 2, which is a 3. So 3 plus 8 is 11. That means I would be in my 11th personal year, which is a master number year, which eventually adds up to 2. So this is a year for me to partnership with people. So when somebody like your wife came to me about doing the book, I was in my 11th year to partnership and do things with my book. So I followed that order, and it will work well in this year. But also resonating on that master number, that means I have to move with intuition because the master number is an intuitive, master number 11 is an intuitive number that also delve into the secret realms of things to pull it out. And you should be able to use the ideals that you dream about or that might come to you with a gut feeling, use it. So when it came to me about joining Charles Childs, I was ready to join because I was already in that element and already thinking like that. But yes, each number, you can break it down to an actual year, date, even month. Right now, I'm in my number 3 month, which deals with expression and writing and all that type of stuff. So I work those numbers very well, and it has helped me.
Would it help you, say, help a child with their parents so they know how to behave with you know what I mean?
Well, as a child, if they, it's up to the parents now to know how to work because they're children,
Yeah.
But if you raise them well as they're growing old with the knowledge of numerology, yes, they'll be able to deal with a parent that might be a smoker or a drinker and they don't want to do it. They know how to deal with their parent. It can help them. But like I say in my book, numerology is only a part of the puzzle. It's not the ultimate puzzle. You have to have, there's a lot of proclivities, a lot of past proclivities, a lot of issues that people are suffering with because they didn't understand how to chart themselves like our ancestors did. They charted themselves through numerology, astrology, and all this stuff.
If you have a life, you're saying if you have a life like you have a ship, this numerology helps you to navigate.
Yes, help navigate. Okay. That's right.
So it's a tool.
It's a tool.
Okay.
Yes, it is a tool. It's a question. Oh, what if your birthday is 2 and your life is 4? I don't like working for others. Now, I would need to know when is the person's birthday. Now, that person could be the Aries or Leo number 2. And 4s are people that usually, when you tell them to do one thing, the only reason as a 4 you might not want to do it is because 4 likes to be in a confining situation. They like to be locked. They'd rather be to themselves. They like to be structured, and they like to be to themselves. And they don't want any outside people to upset their structure. Mm-hmm. Now that I need to find out if she's an Aries or a Leo, because she said she don't like to work
So the question would have been better if the person gave you their birthday.
Oh, yes.
So always give your birthday.
Yes.
You're talking to a numerologist.
That's right. Give your birthday. Right. Yeah, that's right. And
that helps you to know how to talk to people?
Yes.
To know their numbers? Wouldn't that be embarrassing to ask their numbers? Another way you can pick out what they are?
Well, I can pick out also through their names.
Okay.
I sometimes don't need their birthday. Sometimes the name tells me so much. It gives me the motivation. It gives me the personality of a person. It gives me all of that just with a name. Any name you might pull out of. You can pull it out of your hat. I realize when I use certain systems of numerology that people can pull out the name that they, like when I was in the nightclub, you have women that always used to make up names and just give it to a brother. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't want the guy to know his name. But if they chose that name, it connected with their vibration for a reason. And that's why they set the name. And then when you read the name, you find it really matches them fully. You know?
What you're saying is not an accidental
choice.
It's not accidental. It's influenced by that numerology?
Numerology or the vibration that they're connected to want to get to that name. It's just like your name, for instance. When I read your name, you have so many 3s. Thus, 3 is a number of expression. Laila, the L's in your name, the L's turn up to be a 3. Each one of them is a 3 letter. 3 is connected to the 3, and 3 deals with expression, writing, speaking, and musician. All kinds of great things with a 3 because that's an expressive number. So thus why you do what you do is writing books and expressing yourself through music and all that kind of stuff. Which a lot of people don't know that, but this brother's brilliant. I'm just saying.
It's the thing between me and Lloyd Strayhorn. We have the double L.
The double L, Lloyd too, yeah. And Lloyd is a musician himself. People don't even know Lloyd is a great musician himself.
Now, with the numerology, this is also something to help you with your business.
Yes. Yes.
And how to invest your money. I'm just asking, you know.
It can help you with a business. It can help you as far as I've discovered. I've had to read people's choice of names for business and see how it works with them and if it works with the year that they're about to launch the business and all that. And Lloyd has showed me that throughout the years, and that's why I always say salute to people like Lloyd Strayhorn, who I heard in 1988 when I was just a younger guy, and that's when it all clicked to me, because there's something like I was looking for. I always believed that life had its codex. It always had its codex, DNA, RNA, but we just use the surface of it, numerology. We ain't digging down our blood and checking our bloodline and all that, but we just use the surface of it, which, like I said earlier, it's just a part of the puzzle. It is not the ultimate, the all puzzle.
It's not
just,
God.
It's not the, yeah, it's not
one
the
of the disciples.
One of the disciples, exactly. That help you to understand who you are. Like, know thyself, it helps you to know thyself in some perspective.
Now, if I was thinking about where I should live and
Yes.
what car I should buy, would I be able to use numbers are simple?
Yes. Well, no. Lloyd's book, that's why, like in the back of my book, I go straight to the reference. I recommend reading, and Lloyd is on the top. He has a thick book, and I'm going to always shout him out and big him up because this is just, my book is just a simple way to understand numerology, to guide you to, if you want to get extensively deeper into it. But that's why I give you recommended reading in the back of my book, because I believe an author should always show and salute those who have given you or guided you to information. I don't believe we should always try to claim it as myself. I don't believe in that. And I think that's the integrity that I've had, I've been raised with through my mother and my father and my family, that you always should give a show honor to your ancestors and those that came before you, that you're standing on their shoulders.
So we back to
yeah,
should I
but you
move
can.
here,
But yes,
or
Lloyd has that in his book. Yes, you can, and it can. The numbers does tell me, like your number of your building. I'm not gonna say his address, but it has a lot of sevens, and I know it had water issues. I know it relates, but it adds up to a number 3 when you add up his number of his building, which is also equivalent to the number of his birthday. The 9 and 3 works together. I know why he lives here. And 7 is also a place of secrecy or keeping to yourself and research and quiet. It's a building of that. And that's what he loves to do here. Would I say that I'm correct?
yes. And so the numbers, do they have like a expiration date? Like you should do this for a certain period of time if you knew the numbers? Like
No, it doesn't have an expiration date, but when you're dealing with personal years, it has a cycle. There's a cycle that continues. You go through 1 through 9 all year long. Every month and every day of the week, you go through 1 through 9 in your own personal life. So there's no real expiration, but you do continue the cycles.
I was just wondering, so would a country have a number?
Yes, like let's say America's born July 4th, 1776.
That's a 7, right?
That is his number. That is his number. That is the number. Once it says, or July 4th would be the personality of America, which is the communications with the weird and unusual things that happen here. But 4 rules communication, 4 rules computer, 4 rules television and radio, and thus America has been on the top of the line for using their communication as far as as far as growing into that over the years.
What I'm curious about is, like you said, America has a certain number and a certain personality. So would a person like come from Africa, that number have a influence on this number coming from Africa?
Yes. They can use like some Africans have if they know their birthday from that region. That's why it's a little different than astrology, where another part of the world, they might look at astrology differently. But if they have the birth date and they know their birthday, some Africans know their birthday, they'll tell you this is what it is. And I'm serious, this is my birthday, my brother. And they'll tell me that. And sure enough, their number that they were born connects to how they're acting and how it influenced them all the time. And I've checked that out with a few of the African friends that I've known. But some may claim, let's say, due to we know most of the stuff from the birthdays and the months are Roman and influence and all that kind of stuff. But the more we put into this energy, the more it becomes what it is. Thoughts are things.
Yeah.
And that's what we got to realize. So if all Africans in America here stopped thinking and went back to Kemetic philosophy, or went back, we could change this whole paradigm with just the science and zodiac. But numbers, mathematics is life. And that helps me to understand people, like I said, from a bird's eye point of view. It helps a lot of numerology. That's why a lot of numerology books, they would stay on the numbers instead of try to delve off into the astrology of it. The ones that I've read, even the Indian ones that I've read, have started. But somebody asked me a question: can numerology be used on when buying stock, selling stock, gambling? No, like he just asked me that earlier. Kenneth Dickerson, the late great Kenneth Dickerson, was one of the best at it, and he wrote a book called How to Win. Matter of fact, it's in the back.
There's a reference in the book.
There's a reference in the back of the book, and it's called How to Win Games of Chance. It was written in 1992 by Mr. Kenneth Dickerson, and I know his daughter. Big up to you, Sister Colleen. She's a Muslim sister, and but she usually brings me the books to sell. But you can Google that up, and more than likely you can order the book online. Kenneth Dickerson did, and he shows you the biorhythms, the algorithms. I never really got into that as much, but Kenneth Dickerson, I would recommend. And there's somebody else he mentioned in the book, and Lloyd mentioned in his book, named Gloria. She's another lottery winner that won, a white woman that was able to win lottery. Kenneth Dickerson kept it under the radar because he didn't want to be judged or dogged out. But he knew his stuff.
That would make sense.
That makes sense for a black man to do. Yes, sir. But yes, that's your answer. Check out Kenneth Dickerson. He's very good at it. Oh, there's no.
At the top.
Oh. Soul Love, August 20th. See, that's where the Leo. See, that's why you don't like to work for nobody, Soul Love. See, I knew. But there's a time in August, because of that Leo energy, Leos need people to serve them and not you serving them. That's what happens. So you need to start your own business. But I would suggest being born on August 20th to start a business in health. Start something, study Dr. Afrika's class, get his certification, go study under Queen of Four and get your health certification and start doing health practice. You know, just because you're two, I always see people born under the 2nd of the month, the 20th of the month, the 11th of the month, or the 20th of the month. They do so well in health and building products. And for my friend of mine like Malika, born on November the 11th, and people like Nadra, born on August 29th. She and 2 + 9 is 11, 1 + 1 is 2. They doing well in the health field. Very good at doing that. But also needing good partnership around you. Loyal people is what's necessary, especially for you.
Now with the, we're saying that the numbers are simple.
People are complicated.
And people, you can use numbers to help guide you.
Yeah, yes.
As a tool.
As a tool.
And it helps you with relationships.
Yes, it does. Yes,
employment.
Yes, it does.
Career.
Yes, it does.
That's what you said.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm saying.
Relationship, of course.
Yes.
Everyone wants to know that.
Yes, sir.
And finance.
Yes, sir.
But it can help you in relationship to other things other than people. You say
Yes, it does.
money.
Money, yes.
And you say
And
where you should live.
Where you should live, the house that you should actually purchase, or the business building or business that you might want to purchase. A person called me from Texas a couple of years ago, Houston, Texas, and he was about to get a restaurant. And the restaurant added up to a number 2. And I said, check the water in that building. He said, they just had a boiler problem. And they had to, if you see the number 2 pop up in a lot of 2s in your building, or a lot of 7s, water is usually the issues for that particular person. They would be flooding. You gotta be careful for a flood. They live somewhere near a lake, or somewhere where if there's a heavy rain, it will cause a problem to the building. You have to be careful. So now you got to learn how to deal with that and prevent it.
I was wondering, people buy clothes and jewelry, and
Right.
so this would help a person say, I shouldn't wear that type of clothing.
I mean, because the clothing have certain names attached. Let's say Versace. Like if you read the name Versace, the person that might be resonated with that name Versace should wear Versace, especially in that world, like Stanley's boots or Timberland.
What about this secret person?
Victoria's Secret?
Yeah.
Who's supposed to be a man, I heard. That's crazy. 50 secrets. Really, Victor. No. That's the secret. In numerology and certain systems, I've learned that you could read the vowels and the consonant, and it will give you a clear, a beginning view of what that is. Like say Vicky, V-I, Victoria, V-I. The V is a 6, and the I is a 1, so that's a 7. So 7 is a secretive number, so it's not ironic that they call it Vicky Secrets. When 7 in the consonant and the vowel adds up to a 7. It starts off with secrecy.
Yeah.
Already to me. Sorry. 7-Eleven. Somebody's a 7-Eleven. That's a birthday? All right, those born on the 11th, your master number, very intuitive. Pay attention to your dreams. And those in your health field, because you have the double one, you have to pay attention to your eyes. Check your eyes with a regular checkup with doctors. Also, pay attention to your circulation. Make sure you eat food that does not clog your system. And of course, protect your lungs. Because it's double the number one. So once you see those two ones, although it adds up to a 2, those 2 ones tells me as a number 711 that you have to be careful of all of that. And plus the 2, because the lower vibration of the master number 11 is the 2. That means you have to be careful of ptomaine poison, digestive problems, gastro problems, all that. And that's when you come to people like Dr. Afrika. Get yourself killed or reverse the effects of it. That's where that. And plus your cancer. Cancers are very intuitive, so pay attention to your, not just your daydreams, but your night dreams and your intuitive. And usually at times, when you had a gut feeling about a person you was about to deal with, you was on it, but then you went against it. And if you went against it, that was the problem. So you usually go with your gut feeling, Cancer. Telling you right now.
Don't argue with yourself.
Don't argue with your natural intuitive self. It is right. It's you.
Now, when a person is growing, certain times you're doing this in your life, certain times you're doing this in your life. Can it help you plot a course that way? Like, I shouldn't be doing this at this time in my life.
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. In other words, it's just like, for instance, when you're going through a number 4 year in your life, let's say your birthday adds up to, and when you add your birthday with the year that you're in, and it comes up to a 4. 4 gives you structure, gives you limitation, but it also is a lesson to learn on that you need to structure your life at this time before you move forward to the next level and next cycles that's about to come. Because the next cycle usually comes after that is a 5, which deals with promotion, getting a promotion, but you got to have yourself prepared for something to receive some of that when it comes. That's where 4 cycles is concerned. You move into a 5 cycle, you're dealing with like I said, promotions. You're dealing with fast thinking and a lot of scattered thoughts. That means the 4 was giving you the lessons to maintain the focus when you go into the 5, because 5 is going to be a very hectic time for you coming up. That lot of movement, lot of traveling, lot of things. You have to know and understand them. And remember, this goes throughout the months and the days that you're in too. So like I said, I'm in a number 3 month. You add the 3 to the first day of the month. That was a 4 where I needed structure on that first day. Things I particularly like to do during that day is when I try to work with my numbers, and I know that even when I was writing my books, I knew certain days I needed to write, and I would just download. It's like a whole download would come to me, especially writing my first book. The numerology helped me because I wrote my first book in 2012, and my aunt had just passed on, who was a journalist herself, and her spirit just was coming through me to write about my experience in the entertainment film. And it's called No Promotion is Bad Promotion, just spell my name right, and that will be on Charles Childs Publishing very soon, revised and brought back. That book, the book is Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated, and you can get it on Amazon and Kindle. Amazon and Kindle now. Yes, you know somebody on Amazon and Kindle. Charles Childs Publishing. And that's also, you can go to Dr. Laila Afrika's website and check out his stuff. And also, somebody just sent me another question here. You're born October 15th, 1990. That means you're a Libra. Could you give me some career relationship help pointers? As a number 6, you're born at 1 and a 5. First of all, being that you're a Libra, you're connected to the balance, the ma'at. You like a balanced life, and you need to have balance, harmony, and peace in your life. You can't have people that's going to cause you any problems, because people born under your number usually get sick if you got into arguments and all that. Also, I like to work the numbers that you're connected with, especially when you have those 2 compound numbers, the 1 and the 5. 1 and 5 represents the leadership quality you have, but 5 also represents the freedom that you love. So a man that deals with you have to understand that there's certain times, you might want to be with that person, but there's certain times that they have to give you some type of freedom. Oh, he's going to take a break. He'll be right back after this. Sometimes he has to give you that. Sometimes that person has to give you that freedom. As far as career is concerned, number 6 are very good at dealing with educational things, getting into education, dealing with health, and all that kind of stuff. So number 15s are very good. Matter of fact, what'd you say? Yeah, no, you're born 1990. Let me break that whole down. Okay, that's a 1, a 6, 7. You like to be to yourself a lot. Meditation is very important for you. Sometimes taking trips to the lake and relaxing and getting some time near the water. Water is very good for you if you're taking baths and all that. 7, remember, as a number 7, it's like a number that slows things down. That you shouldn't rush for money, but you should learn to think and meditate on what you want and what you want to bring to you as a number 7 life path, because that is your life path as a number 7. But I do suggest as a number 6, get into something dealing with education and dealing with family, like social work and all that type of stuff. I do suggest that as far as a career. Anything else?
I have a birthday, 11:30.
11:30. Oh, yes. Oh, see, 11:30. That's what. Okay. You're born the same day as a good friend of mine, as a reggae star, Sanchez. Very good writers, very good at art, drama, acting, dancing, all of that kind of. You're the type of person, but it's an extreme art and dancing. You're also a Sagittarius. Sagittarius deal with entertainment, and Sagittarius also connected to the number 3, which deals with expansion, and the planet Jupiter deals with expanding and all that type of different stuff. You will be a good writer, excellent writer, whether you're writing a book, whether you're writing plays, whether you're writing, or you'll be excellent doing journalism and all that. But you have to take the time to really go out and do it and stop being so scattered, because what I do is read the alignment number, and the way you read a person's alignment number is with adding the month and the day was born, and that gives me the first initial step of who you are as far as your achievement is, your potential achievement level, and that adds up to a 5. 5 means that you have a lot of scatteredness going on, and you need to learn how to hone everything, focus everything, and put it to paper, because you are a writer as far as you being born on 11:30 of the year.
What would be the steps of a person? I know its numbers are simple, but what would be the steps that a person would go through to find out about themselves using the book? You know, what steps should they go
understanding in my book, I give them the basics of understanding one name, or I give them the one meaning basics of understanding the numbers first. Learning what 1 is attached to, what 2 is attached to, what 3 is the vibration, what elements. I give them the very basics, and then they can learn from there. Just as long as they learn how to connect the basics.
So they get the tools first,
they get the tools,
and then you teach them how to use it.
Yeah, use the tools. And even Lloyd has classes, and he wants me to come and teach a class with him. And we do classes in New York City at City College. He does one every Wednesday at City College, and he actually wants me to come and teach the last class on October 14th. So.
Probably doing some online too.
Yes, well, he's going to be doing online with, and I will be too. I like promoting. Yes, I'm successful. My website is kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com if you want private readings and all that, or you can go through Charles.
You gotta say that slow. Man.
I'm sorry, I'm one of them fast people. I'm one of them fast people. It's from MCing shows all my life, since I was young. My website, once again, is King Simon Productions with an S at the end. .wordpress.com. That's KINGSIMON Productions PRODUCTIONS .wordpress.com. And you can hit me up there and find out so much about what I do, all the events that I got coming up. Matter of fact, I have Jerry Miller coming up. I just did Dr. Afrika and Melody Stevens. I have my Dr. Ashwa Kwesi coming in November. I have me, Lloyd, and Malika Ali doing something in November. And I got my anniversary, 20 years in production and promotions on December 6th, where I have Terry Banks, that's his name? I got Terry Banks is going to be a featured speaker. He's also a part of Charles Child's publication. I have myself, Brother Polite, going to be there. Professor Griff will be there. And the theme of that, my anniversary is reestablishing the code of conduct in our community. We need this code of conduct. There's a lot of disrespect and a lot of stuff going on, but that's happening December 6th inside New York City. Somebody gave me the birthday. February 22nd, master number, April 22nd. Born the same day as one of my good friends in my family. I won't even go and say their name, but big up to them everywhere they are. But anytime I see people born on the 22nd, especially the 22, because you have the 2 numbers, be very careful about what you eat, your stomach issues, intestinal issues, because like I said, the 2 rules that. gastro problems and all that. But also it adds up to a number 4 where there's a lot of secret haters that you have to be careful. That means you have to be mindful of the company that you keep all the time. I've had friends born on the 22nd. I've been in the reggae world for many years. Shaggy's born October 22nd. Beanie Man born August 22nd. These are friends. And they had to also be very careful of the haters around them, because you fours always attract secret haters. But being that you're master number 22, those are master builders. That means whatever you want to do, you can accomplish it. But what I said in my book is that usually they fall short of the glory of their talent is because they weren't taught or guided towards that. So they usually fall towards the 4, where they're deep thinkers and they think too much and they overthink themselves, they're indecisive and all that. That's what usually happens. So we're here as numerologists or astrologists to guide you to your highest, wisest abilities in your life. Whether you take that road, that's up to you. It's up to you again. It all deals with who you are and what you are and what you want to accomplish.
Basically a servant of the people.
A servant of the people. Yes,
through numbers.
Through numbers. That's right. And through other things.
We have a question from the internet here.
Yes, sir.
Can parents read children by the numbers?
Yes. They can be read.
This is person 1222. Does that help?
Yes, that's a master number 22 again. With a child, if you have a child born on that number, try to guide them to accomplish. Don't stagnate them, and make sure whoever they are around, they got to trust the people, because 22s and people born under 4s and the number 7 need to trust people, because they will go into their own self and go into their own mind and cause own issues. And usually when they get sick, people like them get sick, is only because they think it and think they are sick. That's what makes them more sicker. So I always tell parents that have a master number child, guide them to what you see they love to do, because what they love to do is what they're going to be the very best at. They could be a very masterful person at it as they get older, but you have to give them good guidance. Can't be amongst parents that might be molesters and all that kind of thing. You got to be very careful with 4s, because you got to protect them from those weird and unusual situations, from friends, from peers, from whoever. It's all emotional, like Doc says. A lot of emotional problems going on in our community, so you got to be careful of those who wish them harm, because they attract those secret haters because of their natural ability to just love and want friends and people around them. You have to be careful.
So they have to protect their kids.
Very protective, and protect them as children. Protect that. I've known a lot of people born on the 22nd that have gone to the molestation, the fondling, and all that kind of stuff. Got to protect them from Uncle Bubba, who just came out of jail. You got to protect them from those circles of people, especially the 4s, especially people born on the 7s.
Now, this is from Black God Spawn.
Peace, God.
6/9/1980.
He likes to work for himself. He is about business. Once you see them 1 and 9s, that adds up to a 10, which is a 1. 10 in certain numerology circles, like the tarot circle, is the wheel of fortune. You could accomplish any goal you want to, but it's up to you at the end of the day, whether it be evil or good. You will be at the height of it. That's how deep that can get. People born on the 19th, like Smokey Robinson, born on the 19th, excellent writer. Excellent writer, and matter of fact, it's probably the main writer of all that stuff back in the day, because you know the deal. Smokey Wright was born on the 19th of February, very powerful. You're born 6/19, that lets me know that's 7, your alignment number lets me know that you like to be to yourself for some time, and you should pay attention to your intuition, very important. But at the end of the day, you should run your own business. If you are working, start setting up something on the side while you're working and funneling your money into your business, because you really don't like to punch a clock for nobody else but yourself. Pay yourself first.
So we covered the elements, but you didn't mention a certain number doing things in a certain weather. I mean, some number would be more favorable in the winter. I don't know. I'm asking. Summer.
Yes, that's true. You have of course the brighter numbers, which would be the 1, the 3, and the 9. That would do a little bit much better. But also with that, it just depends on their zodiac, and it depends on how much of those numbers surrounds them. Like sometimes the 1s like to be in the sunlight. The sun is very good for them. 9 is another force for energy, that they have a universal appeal, and 9 should learn other languages, so they'd be able to travel to different places. But they would probably end up loving to be in the sun more than ever, because it's a fire number also. But yeah.
What about the numbers of people's shoes of 9 and their waist of 32?
Mm-hmm.
These numbers on their body.
Say it again.
The numbers of the shoe, a size 9, a size 30 waist. These numbers on their body, can that help them at all? Just to know those?
To know the numbers on their body.
Yeah, like to wear a size 7 hat. I'm just.
Well, I mean, shoe size is not. I usually don't deal with that because shoe size is as your feet grow, you dealing with your own shoes. But the name of the shoes, the name of the clothes, the colors of the clothes do resonate and connect with the numbers. Like I would like to wear a lot of blue sometimes because it connects to my numbers, or I might wear yellow or gold because it connects to my number. Black actually connects to my life path, which is an 8, and 8 deals with Capricorn. Capricorn has an affinity to black, and 8 also has affinity to black. So I like to wear a lot of black, but that life path has followed me all through my life. So that's why it's called a life path.
And I was just wondering because some people have a certain color, like you say.
Yeah.
But then they get in a relationship, they change color.
They change color.
I'm just saying, would that be a way to help a person?
That would be a way to help, but also you got sometimes people have their wives buy clothing for them that might not resonate. Because I've had my wives in my past. I've been married 3 times. It is what it is. 3 times is a charm. Let's keep it moving. But they've bought me certain clothing. And I said, nah, you know better. Nah, I don't like that. But if they bought like someone will try to buy me red. Now red may be their color that they like to look at, but I might not like to look at red on my body because I just didn't have a connection with the red. I might have, if she would have gave me gold or darker gold or brown, I would have worn it because I like those colors. But if you're born on the 3rd or the 3 under the 3 to 12 of the month and the 21st of the month, you like your lilac, you like your blues, you like your black sometimes, and then somebody give you a color that you totally like, you would just put that joint in the closet or the bottom of the closet and never wear that. You'll accept it, yes, but you might just put it away. But colors pull certain vibrations towards you, positive and negative. And if you resonate with that color, you'll be able to work that color very well for your benefit also.
I was just wondering, you're saying that these colors are influenced by the person. People can sabotage you with colors? Or?
Yes, I mean, learning from you, I remember each day represented color.
Yeah.
You taught me that. Yeah, I taught through Dr. Afrika, I learned that through different, that's how I live accordingly. I actually like to wear different colors. I have it written on my board what Doc taught us, and it also has a connection with different organs in your body. And that's why I big up Dr. Afrika in my book, because this brother told me, but I never put that part of it in my book. But Doctor, if you want to learn anything about colors and how it works with different days, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, please check out Dr. Afrika in his book. Which book is that written in again?
I got an African Holistic Health, and I got a Holistic Self-Diagnosis.
Yes,
I got the numbers and the zodiac.
That's why I told you, it's all a part. This is just a part of the puzzle. This is not, that's why you got to go to people like him, Weena Ford, various other people. They all got a part of this puzzle and make you a whole person.
Do you think they jinxing brothers when they put numbers on them in jail? The wrong stuff? What do you think?
If that person is not under that number, yeah, he jinxing them. I know if I went to jail and they gave me a number, I know I would say, nah, I don't want that. I would try to resonate or try to work in tandem with the number on how it's supposed. Like a reggae artist named Toots and the Maytals sung a song about a number that he had in jail. 5446 was my number. Now, if you add that up, 54, 5 plus 4 is 9, 46, 4 plus 6 is 10, which is 1, so that was a number 1 number. So when he came out with a song, he went to number 1. 54, 46 was that number, that's the jail number he had on. And it all adds up to 1. That junk was on the charts for many, many, many weeks when he came out of jail and sang that number 1 song. So it resonates. It's real interesting.
Yeah, because I'm used to seeing the numbers with Malcolm X, Martin Luther King.
Right.
That's why I was asking. Said maybe these numbers are telling how they should behave under that condition.
We used to call Malcolm 10. And he still, what's so funny, people say Malcolm 10, and Malcolm was born on the 19th of May, which was a number 1, and 10 is a 1. So it resonated with Malcolm. That made him number 1 in what he did in speaking and all that. Malcolm X was his name, and that X represented a 10 in Roman numerals, but that 10 was a 1, and like I just said, he was born on the 19th of May. This ain't no coincidence. 1 and 9 equals 10. Let's be real here. No coincidence.
Yeah, that's true. So we have someone that's born 11:30.
Yes. Did somebody just...
Yeah, 11:30.
11:30. That's Sagittarius number 3 again. Writers. Sagittarians are into entertainment, writers, anything dealing with expression. You're one person that nobody can't just shut you up. You have to let it out. You have to let that out. And like I said, when I see those zeros, there's an extremity that you went through in your life. So you've had a lot of experiences in your life, some negative, some positive, but I do suggest that you write it all out. Get memoirs, build your own book, and then sign up with Charles Child Publishing and see if you get your book out with them. But you need to write or do something that deals with expression, whether it be acting, writing, radio, communication, anything dealing with communication, that would be good for you. But you love your freedom too. You love to be to your freedom. People who a relationship have to understand there's certain time that you just need to be to yourself and need to do things, need to travel and get your travel on also, as that Sagittarius like to expand and do their thing. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we've done Sagittarius, we've done July, we've done June, and we did February, because you mentioned February. Yeah. Is it 1 month we missed here? I'm trying to make sure everybody gets some food.
Well, I mean, whatever they said. I mean, people have been texting me too. Let me hold on.
October?
We did October. We just did October birthday again, but it would be greatly appreciated at the very least. Please restate the name of the book. My book is Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated, and it's on Amazon and Kindle by King Simon. I am King Simon. And it's on the Charles Child Publishing.
And this is the book.
This is the book.
This is how it's going to look when you get it.
When you get it. When you smack it in your hand, I got to big up Jackie Wilson, who got my book from California. She texted me her picture with it and all that kind of stuff. So I'm happy. But I'm also honored to be amongst one of my judges, my guides here, and his beautiful wife, Melanie, who's monitoring and doing everything. She's doing her number 16 thing. She doing it. And she going into her number 8 years. So she about that executive, that money, and making things happen. That Capricorn energy. The one thing about Capricorn, they're about making it happen. You know? Make it happen.
We are looking at people that have like certain sports they like over others. Some people just like tennis. That's not accidental, is it?
No, it's not accidental. Definitely not accidental. Wow. My wife just sent me something. No, I didn't talk about it. I'm sorry, baby. I didn't talk about that yet, but that's private. We'll do that after that.
Okay, so I'm saying certain sports.
Certain sports are connected to it. Martial arts, certain martial arts. Like if I see there's people born on the number 5, 14th or the 23rd of the month, I always suggest them to go into a flowing art like kung fu and certain things that move in circular motion that keeps capoeira, that keeps a flow of their body and anything like that. Certain have I've noticed that the boxing and martial arts world, that some of the predominant fighters are either earth signs and water signs, or on the earth numbers and water numbers. Specifically, Muhammad Ali, born January 17th. Moses Powell, professor, one of my teachers through Anthony Muhammad, born January 13th. People like Soke Little John Davis, who's born September 19th. I've noticed even my brother Mayweather, born the 24th of February. Not only does he have an earth number, but he has a water sign. Then you have Lennox Lewis, that's born as a Virgo. See, I noticed that these things, only few, you got the fire signs like Jack Johnson, who's born March 31st. But when I did his alignment number, which is funny, the 4 plus the March, which is a 3, equals a 7, which is a water number. So there was a flow he had. When you see people with water number, there's a fluidity. They move with a fluidity and flow. With earth numbers, there's a certain solid structure and foundation they have to stay on to maintain their fighting stance and do what they have to do. So it's very interesting how numbers and signs and all that work together, sports and all that. Colors, all that work together. Where you live,
who you relate to.
Relationship, who you connect with. Some people you're supposed to be in business with, some people you're not. Some people you in your family you don't like, or some persons that you come in that might step in that room for a minute you don't like them. I guarantee you that person has a number that either probably opposition to you or the sign is opposition to you. That's why you didn't like him in the first damn place.
So the thing is that this is just one of those things that help open a door of more knowledge for a person by themselves when they have numbers are simple.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. People are complicated. Yes, sir.
So that's what we're talking. We're talking about how simplistic they are if they have a key to it.
Yes, sir.
And this is the key.
That's one of the keys. Yes, sir.
Yes, and it makes things not so complicated. So I know I should be wearing this color. You have at least a guide.
Right.
Instead instead of doing all these things just off the cuff,
Right.
wrong, and you wonder why your life is going the way
Right,
it is.
right.
If you didn't read the table of contents
Exactly,
of your life.
exactly. And you know, to my religious people, those that are in Islam or Christianity, I say in my book, on page.
But none of those religions were against numerology or astrology, not in writings themselves.
Yeah, it's some, but now they seem to have developed in the Bible. It has they have developed some type of thing against looking at the stars and all that kind of stuff. But I said in my book on page 61, it said, remember, these ancient sciences do not take you away from your belief or knowledge of the Creator. It can only make you a better religious person in the Creator's sight if used for positive means. That's what I made sure I put in this book so people understand. Every preacher and pastor remember their birthday and they want to celebrate it in church. Don't let them fool you.
Yeah.
I've been there for a party.
They want to give too.
They want to give. That's right. Don't forget, not just 10% of your tithe. They want the extra 5% from 2,500 people that will hook up the tithe and tie them up.
All related to the number.
All related to the number. Because anytime I see somebody, anytime I've been in Christianity, Islam, I've been in Hebrew, people still acknowledge their birthday. And even the name that they choose lets me know. If you don't acknowledge your birthday, I can read you through your name.
That's the nickname?
Nickname, the original name, the birth name, whatever you put it in, you resonate with that name for a reason. You pull that name, whether you chose a name. Like in Islam, I chose the name Shadi, which means singer. And I went up to number 3 on the chart as a singer, a reggae singer. Interesting. And it was chosen by Imam Isa back in the Ansar days, Dr. York. He knew numerology. That's how good he was. And he told me, back in my day as a young man, he said, anytime I needed to feel happy, if I ever felt sad, I should sing. And that has always worked for me because I've always been a natural singer, because number one is like to be in front of people. I love to be the star. That's why I love a microphone. In my book, my first book, I wrote about the microphone, because the microphone, it creates a certain world for me that I can do no wrong. So when I get on the stage of Madison Square Garden, I don't care how much people I'm in front of, you become my family as soon as I touch the microphone. So sometimes I'm in front of a camera and I just pretend that I'm holding a mic because it gives me some type of comfort. It's like an emotional comfort. That's
Yeah, a melody in your heart.
Yes, exactly.
Now, we talked about the colors and
Yes.
relationship and money and navigating your life. But the thing is that some people still feel a little, about the numbers.
Yes, sir.
How can they overcome that? About they shouldn't use numbers in astrology. How can?
Well, like Lloyd always said to all of his people in his class, he said, if you don't like numbers, why don't you give me your check every week that you get from you? Obviously, we use numbers to tell the time. We use numbers to get on the train, the buses. Numbers is a part of your life from the beginning of the day to the end. You try living your life without numbers, really, in this day and time. And you'll find it very hard to do. Even a radio station has a frequency, 98.7 kilohertz, 91. There's a number that you have to attach to. You have phone numbers that if you didn't want to call your mama, you need a number to call your mama or your friend, or call here. There's a frequency here that you had to link up to, whether it's YouTube or whatever. There's numbers attached to each word, each letter, and that. So if I would say for those who still have a little problem with numbers, go to the book of Numbers.
Yes, right there. Book of Numbers. That's true. Now, the book of Numbers, could you tell from a person's phone number something about them? That's a bit of a stretch.
No, actually, Lloyd and myself, but mostly Lloyd, certain numbers connect with you. Like my number, let's say my last digits of the number is 1022. 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2 is 5. My whole name equals 5, and I have many 5s in my name. In Lloyd, he has a lot of 7 in his numbers, and he's born on the 16th. Usually, certain numbers vibrate with you better. Now, if you get a bad number, somebody give you a bad number from the phone company, and you're having so many problems with this number, you lose the phone, that maybe that number wasn't supposed to be with you.
That's those for bill collectors too.
Your bill collectors
You get a lot of those calls.
bill collectors too. I even look at my phones, the phones that I buy. I'm careful with the numbers, so I hardly lose a phone. But the last phone that I had, I lost all the contact and number, and that number was in contrast to my number one number. It was a phone that added up to 8 or 6, and that was in opposition. So all my phone numbers was deleted out of the darn phone, and I didn't sync it. And so when it didn't sync into Google, I lost all the numbers. I had to go to the
That number attracted that
energy,
to you.
right? That opposition energy too.
So you didn't need that number.
No, I didn't. That number should not have been with me at all. You know, that phone. It was that phone.
Yeah, that
It wasn't
phone.
about, 'cause I still have the same number of phone. Is there one more thing? No, this is still my wife. Who's this? Somebody is saying I have one more birthday for you if possible. Who's this? Your name? Okay, you was October 10th. You said, okay, you giving me December the 30th, 1973. Want to get out of Philly and travel, but I'm not. But is not doing very well financially right now. I am also concerned about her health and relationship. Now, the person born on December 30th, you see, 1973. Let's do the mathematics with that. That's 10, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's a 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, this person, I would tell you that she's either suffering from some type of blood pressure problems. Need to go to him. Number 3 is always either suffering from low blood pressure or high blood pressure, but more so low blood pressure. Because she has a 5 energy alignment number, insomnia, nervous issues, that could be part of her health, and I say also with a number 3, nerves. Go to Dr. Afrika for that. He has all that breakdown with her health. As far as her relationship concerned, because she might be a very outspoken person. A lot of men nowadays can't handle outspoken women. It's all emotional again.
Yeah.
Especially in this day, they think they too this, and because they're not intellectually enough to deal with certain women.
Too bossy.
Yeah, get your intellect up, brother. That's what I would say. In order for you to deal with something, because women sometimes mature a little faster than some of these brothers out here. And if a number 3 born on the 30th, they talk, and she a Capricorn. Some of the greatest speakers and teachers and researchers are Capricorn. Dr. Ben, Dr. John Henry Clark, Chancellor Williams. These have been Dr. Jeffries. If you go down in front of Jeffrey talking backside off. That's a Capricorn energy. Muhammad Ali, great talker. These are Capricorns. And great fighters. Maybe because of her male energy, she has a lot of male energy attracted. 3 is a male number. Yes, numbers are connected to male and female. And like I said, if you can count on your hands, you can understand it. Number 1 is male. Number 2 is female. Number 3 is male. That's 4 all the way to 9. Male, female, male, female, male, female, male, female, male. Then you understand if they have more of those numbers, some of those energies might come out. And I wrote that in my book also about the rock and all that, and I even showed how he born May 2nd, and I showed how he used some of the female energies of the 2 to attract and appeal people, but use his masculine energy in his numbers and his birth. It's all in there. It's all in my book. And numbers are simple. People are complicated. So get it on Amazon and Kindle.
Amazon and Kindle.
Kindle, yes.
Numbers are simple.
Numbers are simple. People are complicated.
And we can go to King Simon Productions.
.wordpress.com if they want to read it.
Yeah.
KingSimonProductions.wordpress.com if you want to read it. And go to Numerologics on my page. You'll see it.
Now then, some people abuse liquids. I can call it alcohol. Some people use
Yes.
powder.
Yes.
Some
Yeah,
people
yes.
use smoke. So
Yes.
how can you...
The addictive numbers is usually the 5, and connected to that number 5, born and connected to the number 9. If you see a lot of those, when I see a lot of those, I'm very careful on how I deal with it. Now they can be addicted to not just drugs, coke, or they can be addicted to sex. A lot of, especially when I see 5s. Especially, me and Lloyd was discussing this the other day. But if it's not just the birthday, but also the amount of these numbers in their name can attract that type. If you have a lot of 7s or a lot of 4s in your name, that's when you attract a lot of melancholy, a lot of deep thoughts in yourself.
Depression sound like that.
Yeah, and a lot of limitation. You have to know how to use these numbers for your benefit, because there's a positive and negative to all numbers. It's up to you on how you use it, and if you learn to understand them in your name and in your birthday, in your children's name, your relationship name, you'll know how to work this magic and share it with your mate, so they'll know how to compromise and work with you in times of those when things go haywire. Because sometimes a person could be in let's say in a number 4 day where they just want to be to themselves and just want to think, and then that person might be in a number 3 day that they want to talk. You got to understand that person, why that person's in that mode. You got to leave them alone. Sometimes that person needs to be leave alone, and they'll talk to you later, or ask them to write it out. Threes, if you try to stagnate at number 3, people born on the 3rd, the 12th, or the 30th of a month, or the 21st of a month, if you're gonna stop them from talking, then they're gonna come out another way. They're gonna express it another way. They might throw stuff at you if you're not careful. I've seen it happen.
Talk with action.
Yeah, my mama born on the 21st. I've seen it happen to people, and I've seen her throw a broom at people.
Yeah.
I love my mama. Love her. But
what's with these people in 13? What's with that?
But that 13, they said if you understand, in numerology, they said if you understand that number, you understand power. But the 1 and 3, to me, is the 4.
Well, yeah.
It's structure that you need to understand with yourself.
It's a square.
It's a square. You have to understand structure. And it's a powerful number of communication. That when you communicate, being born on the 4th, the 13th, or the 22nd, or the 31st of any month, I always tell a number 4 to learn how to dot every I and cross every T and be clear in communication, because usually people misinterpret you and don't understand you. So you have to learn how to be clear in communication with people. Very powerful number in the esoteric realm, but I don't go too much into that. I will lead you. I give you references and recommendations. I do know it, but I try to give you recommendations. So if you want to study it, I try to keep it as simple as possible. That's why it's called numbers are simple, people are complicated.
Yeah, it's good advice even in life.
Yes,
even in life, just look for the simple solution instead of all of this stuff. And you leading them to the simple solution.
Yes, sir.
That's why numbers are simple.
That's right. That's right.
It's no accident.
There's no accident. People are complicated because sometimes they have past issues. The family has issues. The father has issues, and and all that kind of stuff. And that's real, And like you've said many times, people are sick. Everybody is sick. And this is just one method, one key to help open up the deal. I'm like the key maker in the Matrix. I'm just one key, but there's many keys to get through all these doors.
There's a lot of doors.
A lot of doors, especially here in America too, around the world. And you've traveled everywhere, so you've done work with all kinds of people, psychologically and everything. So there's a lot of keys.
I would like everyone to just glance through the book. They don't have to read it. Just glance through it, and they'll be led to kind of like the page. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Just glance through it, and it'll open up to you.
Yes, it will. It will. And one thing I learned through observation, through learning from people like Lloyd and various other numerologists, but mainly Lloyd Strayhorn, who is the top of his game. I mean, he's been on Oprah and all that. Is that the only way that you learn is always maintain and stay a student. I'm never a master. I don't want to be a master, because when you think you're a master, you really don't know a goddamn thing. That's why thus the Quran says you could have all of the trees as pens and all of the oceans and lakes as oil. You can still never exalt the word of the Creator. You'll never be able to know the Creator. You'll never know. We're still limited in our human capacity. So let's not get everybody called master teacher. Yes, they're master teacher at what they do, but still there's more Doc needs to learn. Dr. Melanie needs, I need to learn. Phil needs to learn. Everybody's still learning. We're still always students. And that's how I take life. And I learned that from Lloyd. And that's how he maintains humility on radio. That's how I maintain my humility in my production, in trying to aid and help people any way I can, because I want to buy property. I need help to get property. I need you people to help so I can do some free events, some good counseling for people, set up schools. My goal is to buy land, 10 to 20 acres, to have my own birthing center, because I was raised with midwives in Jamaica. Birthing center to old folks home. After what happened to Dr. Bennett, what he was eating at this senior citizen old folks home, we need our own cemeteries. We need our own old folks home. We need to do our own thing. And we need to have this. And we used to have this when we had our property in Jamaica. I have family in Portland right now that have their own burial in Jamaica, but I know I'm not going to be able to get out of here and get to Jamaica as soon. It costs money. So if I have my own property, and I need like-minded people like yourself to help me out, so we are going to set up a GoFundMe and make it happen. And if you can help me out and you got the expertise, I need like-minded, serious people. I don't need Uncle Bubba that has a crack problem. We'll try to help you. But if you come in with all that bull crap, we need to keep you in the cities and let us do what we got to do numerically, with health, holistically, and otherwise. I need midwives. I need people that have that kind of doulas, those kind of mindset, holistic doulas, holistic men, people that's willing to take care of older people. I'm going to set it up. It's called Laws Birthing Center, and it's named after my grandmother, who was a midwife, Lillian Alberta Walter Scotland. Laws, love all women sincerely. Doing the right form of birth, the water birth, the lotus birth, all that type of stuff. Not the stuff that they're doing in the hospitals of these people that are killing our people and all these injections. That is my goal. And it's going to be transparent. I'm not really too much into the secret. I've been on radio. I've told people about my life, my autobiography coming out in 2 years. You're going to know a lot. I wasn't an angel, but I tell you, this type of stuff, people like Dr. Afrika and their information helped me. Helped me to be a better person, not be the womanizer that I was in the nightclubs. That's why thus I have 9 children. Love my children, but I'm letting you know I'm a straight up person when it comes to these things. It hurts me, like I said, how Dr. Ben and these people died, damn near broken, poor Khalid Muhammad, and a lot of these people, man. I knew these people, and I went and visited Dr. Ben, and I've seen Dr. Clark and all these people. So it hurts me. I don't ever want to hear that Dr. Afrika died broke. I'll never, and I hope his wife will be is the one that's gonna support him all this time. They need the support. We need the support of all of you out there. We're galvanized, like Claude Anderson says, born September 1st, by the way. We're spending trillions of dollars and we don't have nothing to show for it. Numbers. We don't have nothing to show for it. That's numbers again. There's nothing happening. We don't have home manufacturing company, no industry. What's wrong with us? Well, we used to have this in ancient times, Doc.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what we had in the 30s and 20s.
30s
right
and
here in the
40s,
U.S.
exactly, in the U.S.
But we walk in people's business and they want the numbers out of our pocket, which we call dollars.
Yes.
Because everybody's after the numbers.
Of course, they asked for dollars. Them dead presidents, they all had numbers attached to their ass.
They want them numbers.
That's right.
So we have to have a working knowledge of it, because everyone is using numbers in some way.
Yes, sir.
And we got to connect it to something holistic, ourselves, our personality, where we want to go, what we want to do in life. We're making the numbers whole when numbers are simple.
People are complicated.
That's right.
And please support the book on Amazon and Kindle, and support Charles Child Publishing. And support Dr. Afrika, drLailaAfrika.com. Support his website and get those health advice. He's a scientist. And this brother, you're going to see, I shouted about in my book because I respect what he's taught me before I even met him. When I first bought his first book, which probably just thin at that time, African Holistic Health, for me and my family. And big up to all my children, big up to all my former wives, big up to my new wife, Majida, beautiful, love you. And respect to the Charles Child Publishing family, Dr. Melanie and Dr. Afrika. Thank you, Dr.
Big up to the ancestors.
Definitely big up to the
Living
ancestors.
and dead.
Living and on the other side. Yes, sir.
That's right.
Thank you.
So we need that building.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's a wrap.